6, and yet they're still talking about the playoffs in Cincinnati, which is, I guess, one of the luxuries of playing in the Central Division. You know, the 26-21 loss in Pontiac still represented a very important game for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ironically, Sam Weiss was the quarterback coach that year, but since that time in those 3 years, there has been a lot of turmoil and change in Cincinnati.
Super Bowl 16 appeared to be only the beginning. The Bengals seem poised to take their place among the elite teams in the NFL.
When I came out my rookie year, I said, nothing to this. We went to the Super Bowl. I got to play in the Pro Bowl, and everything was just a bed of roses until we got to Pontiac, Michigan, and lost there. But because of the way we played in the first half of that ball game, we felt like that was just a fluke Sunday, and that come back the following year that we were just going to beat up on everybody and be back in the Super Bowl, and that was going to be our year to win it, and that we were going to be the most dominating team in football for the next 10 years. And now we're 3-6 and struggling for our lives.
The days of Camelot in Cincinnati were numbered. For one, drug suspensions tore at the seams of the franchise, a problem that returned this past week after running back Stanley Wilson flunked a urinalysis test and will enter the Hazelden Treatment Center for the 3rd time.
He hasn't helped our team any when he does something like this, and I take exception to that. But I feel sorry for him at the same time.
The entire organization here have been very humane about this. They have been very understanding, not because the player is a great player and we want to get him back for that reason, but because his life is worth saving.
The one positive thing is I think everybody involved, is concerned about Stanley and wants him to get better, and they're pulling for him.
The defections to the USFL, headed by Chris Collinsworth, who will leave after this season, have some wondering about the Bengals' financial commitment. But others view the loss of players like Dan Ross as simply pragmatic business. Still, the failure to sign Ricky Huntley did nothing to help the Bengals' reputation.
I would not say that our franchise is cheap. I would say that they are frugal.
In your negotiations with Paul Brown, did you find their philosophy excessively frugal?
You're going to give me just enough rope to hang myself here, aren't you, Billy?
I think it's, a tough rap to put on anybody. And you can only go by how they treat you. Obviously, in hindsight, maybe some of the things don't look as good now as when they first made the decision. And obviously, I'd sure like to have some of those guys back.
They negotiated these contracts by way of agents, and what can you do about it? In one case, we just woke up and read it in the paper.
When Forrest Gregg left for Green Bay, some speculated Paul Brown wanted a coach he could control, and thus hired amiable Sam White.
The first question asked me is, are you going to be a puppet of Paul Brown? And my reply to the media at that press conference was, well, what should I say now, Bill? As dumb as I look, I'm not stupid enough not to listen to him because he's been down that pike a long time.
But at 3-6, the frustration of the fans who only 3 years ago cheered the Bengals at the top at times has been evident.
Sam, have you had to take a little heat from the fans?
I have not felt any real heat from the media or from the fans around here other than their normal frustration. This is a great sports town. They don't like to lose. I don't like to lose. And the only way that a fan has to express himself, because he's sitting in the stand with a $12 ticket in his hand, is to groan and moan and boo when things don't go right. Wins are the only thing that solve the problems that we have right now, and I think maybe this season can still see some of those wins coming.
It is somewhat surprising, but some people think Sam Weiss may already be in trouble there. But logically, Bob, you got to figure that he's barely had a chance to put his stamp on that team.
Interestingly, when they take the field today at Candlestick Park, exactly half of the Bengals' 22 starters will be different than those who started the Super Bowl less than 3 years ago.
A lot has changed there, right?
Today, from Candlestick Park, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the San Francisco 49ers.
He had all those squib kicks which tormented the Bengals. We'll see what he does today. And the receivers back for Cincinnati. John Farley on the far side and James Brooks on the near side. We're underway at Candlestick. And this is Brooks 1 yard deep in the end zone. And Brooks across the 20. A flag is down as Brooks is dragged down at the 23. Albert Dixon made the stop for San Francisco. Let's see what the flag is. It will be against Cincinnati, I believe.
Then while they're about to march off this penalty, there's a call holding.
Jeff Shue called for holding.
You can see those shadows down there on the field in the latter part of the game. That's going to be an important factor. They're the starting lineup for the Bengals. Anderson,
Charles Alexander getting the start at fullback instead of Larry Kinnebrew. He had the 4 touchdowns Kinnebrew did a week ago. Brian Blados, the rookie, that's why he's in white. Biggest offensive line in football. They average over 280 pounds. This is a 1st and 10 Cincinnati, and they're starting at their own 7.
And a strange formation. Look at Collinsworth. That's not his normal spot. Coming in motion.
Anderson. And he goes to Collinsworth. Keena Turner covering as he gets out to the 14.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen Collinsworth come in motion. Normally he plays a split-in position. Defensive line for the 49ers in the middle to Iyasosopo. Dwayne Board having a good year.
And the linebackers, Keena Turner, the man on that stop. Good linebacking core in their defensive secondary. Lott, Wright, Williamson, Hicks. They think San Francisco fans do it's the best in the business, or at least in the NFC. So, call this a 2nd and 2 at the 14. Brooks comes to the outside. And Brooks fights for a first down near the 20. Dwight Hicks on the tackle.
If Isaac Curtis had made his block, Brooks would have still been running. Hicks coming up. Isaac Curtis just ran right by him. Now, Hicks, remember that interesting story, Hicks and Ronnie Lott making that switch. Hicks moving out to the corner position, Ronnie Lott into the strong safety spot, or actually weak safety spot. And that's something we'll talk about as the game goes on, because there's more to that than meets the eye.
Neither player really thrilled about making that switch. John Farley now in at running back, replacing James Brooks. First down, Bengals. Collinsworth goes in motion again. Complete. The Bengals on the move. Isaac Curtis out across the 40 with Dwight Hicks covering. We'd like to welcome those people who saw Cleveland hand the Buffalo Bills their 10th consecutive loss. The Browns winning it for their new coach, Marty Schottenheimer. 13-10. We're just underway here at Candlestick. And Ken Anderson has just completed a 22-yard pass to Isaac Curtis to the Bengals. 1st and 10 at their 42.
There's an audible. Kenny Anderson changing the play.
Straight ahead is Charles Alexander. Maybe a yard.
Well, whatever he thought he saw evidently wasn't there. They didn't pick up very much. You know, one of the things that the Bengals are going to try to do, I think, today is utilize that big offensive line that you talked about. They average at nearly 300 pounds. And if they can, they're going to try to pound the football into the 49er line, and they'll accomplish 2 things. They can keep the ball and also keep it away from the very dangerous 49er offense.
This is a 2nd and 9 from the 43. High formation for the Bengals in their backfield. Pitch back to James Brooks. Good yardage for Brooks across midfield, and perhaps for another Cincinnati first down before Dwayne Board caught up with him.
You know, James Brooks had his best game last week against Houston. He had 76 yards. Prior to that, he really hadn't done very much since coming to Cincinnati in the trade. Starting to get untracked here. Nice cutback. Watch the quarterback make the block on the right side of your screen. Come on, Kenny, where are you?
Well, no, I think he decided to get out of the way.
Picked up 8, James Brooks did. Short of a first down. It's marked at the San Francisco 49. Look at this. 3 backs in the backfield. A triple I on 3rd and 1. Perhaps trying to draw him offside, Gene. Finally, Kinnebrew, the big 255-yard fullback, fights for another Cincinnati first down. The Bengals are marching.
Well, there's certainly a happy Sam Weich. I think, you know, the first time you get the football on offense, if you can have some success, it really makes the rest of the game, well, I hate to use the word easy, but you build up some confidence, particularly against a good defensive team like San Francisco. The 49ers, they're really afraid of Kenny Anderson because of his experience. They say he reads defenses quicker than any quarterback in the league.
This march began on their own 7. They're now at the San Francisco 47. 1st and 10. Complete to Kinnebrew. Kinnebrew fights close to another first down by the 35 before Keena Turner made the tackle. So Anderson's on fire. The Bengals are marching.
Lenny, do you see any similarities between these 2 teams? Look at all of the kinds of things they're doing. Different motions, different sets, different splits. Sam Weich has taken to Cincinnati the same type of offense that he helped coach here with the 49ers. So they're going to be mixing things up quite a bit.
So 4 first downs now in this drive. Anderson is 3 for 4. Another first down at the San Francisco 35. Couple of tight ends now. M.L. Harris and Rodney Holman in the lineup.
There's a screen.
M.L. Harris. Harris gets to maybe the 33 for a gain of 2 before he was stopped by Dwight Hicks.
That was some hit over there by Hicks, who normally plays that free safety spot, number 22. And usually of all of your defensive backs, the lightest player is usually the free safety player. But Dwight Hicks came up and he was hitting like a strong safety on that play.
Second and 8 from the 33. Cincinnati's been plagued by turnovers this year. Starting this game, they're hanging on to it.
And when they've thrown the ball, they've gone to Collinsworth an awful lot.
Blitz. There it is. Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott's first sack of the year.
Ronnie Lott told me early in the week the thing they wanted to do was put pressure on the quarterback. He didn't say he was going to be the man putting the pressure on him, but they really feel they need to get Kenny out of his rhythm. If you give Anderson time, Ronnie said he can pick you apart.
Big play as Cincinnati had been driving. This sets up a 3rd and 15 at the San Francisco 40. Anderson motioning. Isaac Curtis on this side. He has Chris Collinsworth on the other side. That's James Brooks in motion. Looking for Curtis over the middle and overthrows him as the blitz was on again. Look at this one.
Boy.
The Bears defense really injured those Raiders quarterbacks today. Both Wilson and Hum were in out of the game with injuries, Gene, and the Bears do it to the Raiders. 17-6 the final at Soldier Field.
Well, the 49er defense has certainly risen to the occasion here after the Bengals started off great fashion. Now they're forcing McAnally into a punting situation.
That's Dana McLemore back. McLemore's second in the NFC in punt returns.
McAnally has done a good job of kicking the ball out of bounds.
And does it. Finally goes out of bounds at the 9, and that's where San Francisco will start. So the long drive is stifled by the Ronnie Lott sack. And McAnally gets a 31-yard punt away. So cheer goes up. The San Francisco offense now comes onto the field after McAnally gets the job done. Joe Montana, the MVP of Super Bowl 16. He's now completed 13 straight passes. He's on target maybe for an NFL record, which is 20 in a row, held by Ken Anderson. There are the backs and wide receivers, and the offensive line is doing the job. They've allowed the fewest sacks of any team in the NFC, just 15 sacks in Montana. So, 1st and 10 for San Francisco at their 9. Going on first down, 14 straight receptions. Roger Craig out to the 20. Well, good play acting faking by Montana.
This helps when you have a running back like Wendell Tyler that the linebackers have to respect. You know, oftentimes people refer to this as a dump off, but in the 49er offense and now in the Bengal offense, this is a design play. He is the #1 target, Roger Craig.
And Craig is their #1 receiver. So immediately a first down for Montana and company. For San Francisco at the 20, over the middle, complete to Wendell Tyler. So Joe Montana, 2 plays, 2 first downs. And welcome to those viewers who saw the Bears beat the Raiders. 17-6, Chicago's defense shut down the injured Wilson and Hum. And welcome to our game. Scoreless, first quarter at Candlestick, 7:40 remaining. And San Francisco, 2 plays, 2 first downs.
Interesting thing about that last pass play. Robert Jackson, a free safety, had a good shot on Wendell Tyler. He was anticipating that play. I thought he was going to knock the ball loose. He didn't do it. But it shows that they're really keeping up with this 49er offense, and their anticipation is pretty good.
1st and 10 from the 32. Fake to Carl Monroe in the backfield. 3 straight completions for Montana to Craig. And out near another first down, chased over there by the linebacker Jeff Shue. So Montana has just set a San Francisco club record, 16 straight completions, 13 last week and 3 here this afternoon.
The NFL record is 20?
Right, by Ken Anderson. The 3-4 from the Bengals. Tim Crumry, the man in the middle, but Browner and Edwards on a sack tear this year for the Bengals. Keep your eye on the Shue and Simpkins, those top 2 names. They're not as familiar to many fans here in the San Francisco and California area. And the defensive backfield for the Bengals, Lewis Breeden, the veteran there. 2nd and 2 at the 40. Tyler, first down. Across midfield, Wendell Tyler, and finally Ray Horton makes the tackle.
Now, this is something the 49ers didn't have the last time these two teams met in the Super Bowl. They didn't have a running back who could bounce outside with this kind of speed and acceleration. Wendell Tyler having an exceptional year. 772 yards coming in this game, tacked on another 138 receiving a football, and he has done some job. Roger Craig over on the other side, about 700 total yards. That's quite a pair.
1st and 10 at the Cincinnati 48. Here goes Tyler again. Dragged down in the backfield by Ross Browner. First big play on defense this afternoon for Cincinnati.
Ross Browner, the man seems to be all over the place. You know, when you look at Ross Browner in the preliminary warm-ups, you know, he's not an imposing kind of player. But when he's out there on the field, boy, he gets after it.
So a loss of 5 on the play. That's the kind of play Cincinnati needed. Bill Walsh in his 6th year here with the 49ers. There's some talk he may retire as coach, stay on as president, if they win the Super Bowl this year. 2nd and 15 from their own 47. Completes another one to Dwight Clark for a first down with Ray Horton covering. He needed 15. I believe he got 15.
I think that Cincinnati is doing the right thing. They're forcing the San Francisco receivers to beat the man-on-man. This play, Clark does beat Ray Horton. He comes up with the reception, but you cannot afford to just sit back and play it zone all day because Joe Montana will pick you apart. I think you have to challenge these receivers, and if they beat you, they beat you, but make them beat you. Don't just give it to them.
3 short of the record. First down again at the Cincinnati 36. Audible from Montana here.
They may run out of time. There it is.
30-second clock expires on San Francisco, and instead of 1st and 10 at the 36, delay of game, we'll move them back to the 41 and set up 2nd and 15. Dick Jorgensen, our referee today, having a little bit of trouble with his on-the-field mic. Montana, #1 rated passer in the NFC and #1 rated passer in the history of the NFL. And it's, you know, he's only been in the league 6 years. You think of him as being around a lot longer than that with his statistics.
Well, it helps playing for the man you just saw on the screen.
Second
blitz. They have a screen on.
Tyler. And he's tackled by Reggie Williams. And they're marching backwards. Now they're back to the 45.
Reggie Williams is some outside linebacker. He's big and has an awful lot of speed. There you can see the pressure on Joe, but he's waiting, drawing him, trying to get the screen. But look at that play by Reggie Williams on the outside. He shed his blocker in the right spot. And the one thing about Reggie Williams, he is always in the right place at the right time. He's a very, very smart player. I guess the fact that he went to one of those Ivy League schools might help, but what a football player he is.
Dartmouth man. 3rd and 19 calling from the 45. That's Earl Cooper in motion.
Interception.
Picked off by Bobby Kemp. There goes the completion streak. On the strength of the interception by Bobby Kemp, Montana's streak is stopped at a San Francisco club record of 17 straight.
But watch the hesitation. Watch the hesitation here. That was the problem. When Joe hesitated, Bobby Kemp, number 26, that gave him time to get over and come up with that interception. There was some problem there between the way Ronaldo was running his route and the way Joe expected him to. We'll be right back in just a minute.
When you played, you didn't have the luxury that this San Francisco team has, a 3-game lead, so people are worried about complacency here.
never had a 3-game lead and never had a system to catch the footballs like Bill Walsh has here now. That's a fan. Any receiver would love to play in this organization. And maybe San Diego wouldn't be too bad, but this one, it's a receiver's dream.
So after the Bobby Kemp interception, 1st and 10 from the 15 for Ken Anderson. And he wants to throw. We have an aerial show today for Collinsworth. He's got it! Just like the Super Bowl play, all the way down to the 35. Anderson to Collinsworth against Eric Wright.
This is a fantastic catch and throw, and this is the thing that the 49ers were afraid of with Anderson. They talked about his big, strong legs. It's like a baseball pitcher. He can get that ball downfield. Eric Wright is one of the best cornerbacks in football. But look at Collinsworth. Look at the concentration. Eric doesn't see the ball, but he concentrates all the way, and that ball just falls right in there. Good coverage. Perfectly thrown football and a nice pattern by Collinsworth.
Is this a 3-6 team against an 8-1 team? 1st and 10 now at the 35. Complete to Alexander. Down to the 27. Ricky Ellison covering the linebacker for San Francisco.
The 49ers have not allowed many quarterbacks this much time to throw, and I talked about it earlier. If you give Kenny Anderson too much time, he'll pick you apart. An awful lot of experience. Simply too much time to throw the football. You cannot stay with the receiver for that long.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1 from the 26.
Good down to play action and go for it all.
Looking for Isaac Curtis. He was caught. Interference. Yes, sir.
No flag.
Wow. White Hicks covering. I saw the collision before the ball arrived. I think you did too, Gene.
Well, that's probably the toughest call in all of football is pass interference. Let's watch on the right corner of your screen. See if the defender gets there before the ball does. Well, looked like he did too. But, you know, they have one way of getting out of that. They say if the man is going for the ball and hits the receiver, and they call it incidental interference, there's no flag. That one was questionable.
3rd and 1 from the 26. Straight ahead, Kennebrew, the load, goes for a 1st down inside the 25 before Carlton Williamson stopped him.
Kennebrew had some game last week down in Houston. A couple of touchdowns, caught one pass. There's
good sense of humor on Sam. After he lost his first 5 games, they finally won game number 6, and he turned around and said, did President Reagan call yet? 1st and 10 for the Bengals at the 24. The team's won 2 in a row. They're a far cry from that 0-5 start. They're playing good football now. Coleman comes in motion, the tight end. This is a dump off to James Brooks. Daylight. Down to the 17. Keenan Turner catching up with him.
Keenan Turner. He has really, you know, he's never played in a Pro Bowl as good as he is. I think last year he was selected as an alternate. This year, though, I'm sure he's going to make it. He's finally getting his just due in terms of recognition. You know, this is a great down for the Bengals. They have the 49ers in 2nd and 4 or so. Right. Now you can run, pass, or you can play action. Really keep them at a disadvantage.
James Brooks. Brooks maybe picked up a yard, but you're right. Gene, we've already seen today how James, and a late flag was just thrown. But we're seeing how Brooks is doing better starting last week when he went for those 76 yards, his best effort as a Bengal.
Well, he was very unhappy the first part of the year because he wasn't getting the football very much. But the other side of that is that he was banged up. He had some nagging injuries. Listen for the call.
A late personal foul call against Cincinnati after the play was stopped.
That's the one thing that's plagued Cincinnati all season long is that they get down in good scoring position and then they'll have one thing or another, either to turn the ball over or a penalty.
Unnecessary roughness, 52 offense after the play was over. 3rd down.
Oh boy, the way Remington plays, you can almost call him for unnecessary roughness on every play.
Well, he's obviously look at him. He said, hey, wait a minute. This is supposed to be a football game. What a load he is in the middle. 288 pounds.
Well, instead of a 3rd and 3, he's a 3rd and 18. And they're backed up to the 33.
Brooks is out as a wide receiver with Collinsworth stacked behind him.
Isaac Curtis to the 21, tiptoeing through some wires on the far side. Dwight Hicks watching, and this sets up 4th down.
Isaac Curtis has had a great career for the Bengals, over 7,000 yards in receptions, but coming into this game, he only had 8. This is his 10th of the season. Isaac has had some great years, his 12th season. Just might be his last year, though. He's gotten himself situated in the Cincinnati area, doing very well in business, and probably will finish up his career this year.
Jim Breach will try. Steve Kreider's holding. This is a 39-yard attempt. And the Bengals take the lead, 3-0. So on the strength of Jimmy Breach's 13th field goal and 19 attempts this year, the Bengals break on top of the favorite 49ers. Seconds remaining first quarter. It's 3-0 Cincinnati. The big play in that drive, the 50-yard pass, Anderson to Collinsworth. Here's Breach. Looking for Carl Monroe on the far side. Goes out of bounds, and a 5-yard penalty. They'll do it again.
Now, Lenny, with that field goal that the Bengals...
Number 3, offense, re-kick, 30-yard line.
For the 3 points the Bengals just got, you know, they haven't scored an awful lot of points in the first quarter. Very, very low. The 49ers, for example, have scored 69 points in the first quarter. I think the Bengals are around 19 19 points in the first quarter.
Interesting rule this year, Gene. Should he kick it out of bounds again, then for the first time this year, San Francisco would have the option of taking the ball where it goes out of bounds or making him kick a 3rd time. That happened on a couple of onside kicks in the Detroit-Minnesota game earlier this year. There's Carl Monroe. He's getting ready to receive the kick.
Carl Monroe is averaging 19.7 yards on the kickoff returns, has a long of 44. The other fellow over there, Derek Harmon, isn't bad either. That's unusual. But then again, you have to remember the 49ers got off to a slow start last week against the Rams.
And wound up shutting him out 33-0. Now Monroe takes it at his 11. Look out. Monroe close to the 45 on a sparkling return. Steve Maidlow finally caught up with him. So when we come back, we'll have 49 seconds remaining in the first quarter. San Francisco ball trailing 3-0. Plays in that game. They still talk about here, the goal line stand in particular. Anyway, in 1984, it's 1st and 10 from the 43. And straight ahead for a couple. That's it.
You know, Lynn, a stat that's oftentimes sort of lost or ignored in football games is how much yardage a team gains on first down. If you're a defensive team, you're very aware of this because you try to hold the offense to under 4 yards, because if that offensive team can gain 4 or 5 yards on first down, they come up and you're looking at a 2nd and short. Now they really have you at a disadvantage. The defense has the advantage now with 2nd and long.
After Roger Craig gained 2, 2nd and 8, Clark was open and Montana threw to the wrong side of him, but he had some daylight there with Robert Jackson covering. Montana completed his first 5 passes today, so officially his San Francisco team record, 18 consecutive completions, and that ties him with Steve DeBerg, who also had 18 straight when he was with Denver. The record of 20 held by Ken Anderson. Houston 0-10.
Just gotten a report from the bench that Keenan Turner sustained a bruised thigh, but they expect him to return to the game.
And Buffalo's 0-10 now. 3rd down and 8. Complete to Craig. And he fights for a first down as Reggie Williams missed the tackle. And Craig on the 2nd effort was finally brought down by Robert Jackson. First down.
Roger Craig, I don't think was the primary receiver on this play. He was the outlet man. The Bengals pressured the people on the outside. Joe had no place else to go. He went to Craig. He saw that mark, got the first down.
That's the end of the first quarter. 3-0. The Bengals on top of the 49ers. We'll be right back, everybody.
Now watch how he fights for the first down mark. He sees where it is, and he goes back to the middle. It's just enough for the first down.
1st and 10 for Joe Montana and company at the Cincinnati 44. Cooper comes in motion. Swing it out to Craig again, but too far for him. Oh, with our score here, 3-0 Cincinnati over the 49ers. Let's check in with New York in NFL 84.
All right, Lynn, at Giant Stadium after Dan Marino threw a touchdown pass to Nat Moore, the Jets have come right back. Pat Ryan to Wesley Walker. He juggles the ball but makes the catch. The play covers 33 yards. 6th touchdown of the year for Walker. 7-7. They're all tied up.
Thank you, Bill McAtee. A shootout in the Meadowlands. Good play, Wesley Walker here. We had a big play from Anderson to Collinsworth. This is 2nd and 10 now for San Francisco. Here comes Wendell Tyler on the sweep. Boy, body's falling and goes for maybe 3 before Ross Browner made the tackle.
You know, the really surprising factor here, Lenny, is look at the time of possession for the Bengals. 9:33 to the 49ers 5:27. So if they're trying to keep that ball away from the 49er offense, they're doing a good job. You know, Joe is a little bit off here in this first part of the game. He
did that last week, though.
And they stormed back.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see if it repeats.
It's a little pattern Montana's falling into. 2nd and 7 at the pressure. Craig again. All day long to Roger Craig. Robert Jackson making the tackle on the near side.
Well, it depends on where they mark this.
Yeah.
It's going to be very close. The pressure is coming. The blitz is on. Joe gets the ball off to Craig. Let's see if we can see where he gets out of it. Oh, well, we couldn't really tell, but it's going to be close.
Just across the 35. And it is a San Francisco first down. Boy, with the 8-1 start, Gene, and with this game and then games with Cleveland and Tampa Bay, the San Francisco fans are saying, boy, it's duck soup here on out.
But the other team doesn't know that.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 34. Here's Tyler. Good move. Across the 30. Pickup of 5. Ron Simpkins, the linebacker, on the tackle. Good move by Tyler getting outside. He's showing some moves today, Gene.
Well, Wendell has a tremendous acceleration. And as we watch on the replay, he's nearly trapped here, but now watch him turn it on. See, that's the quickness and acceleration that you really need from a back that can turn an ordinary play into a nice gainer. And I mentioned before, the 49ers, when they won the Super Bowl, they didn't have this dimension in their offense.
2nd and 5 at the 29. Now a one-back offense. There's Wendell Tyler, the one-back, looking for a hole. And smothered on the far side. Losing a yard. Glenn Cameron, the lead tackler.
You know, I've talked to some defensive coaches that have played against the 49ers, and I've asked them, how do you defense this team? No one seems to be able to do it successfully. The problem that the 49ers present for a defensive team is that they might have 90 different plays that they've run over a 3-week period. And it just blows the minds of defensive people. There's no way they can prepare for all of that.
It's 3rd and 6. Keep in mind, they need the 24 for a first down. Dwight Clark has it. 15-yard line. First down, 49ers. Ray Horton, the man they're operating on over there. Horton's the fellow who replaced the retired Ken Riley, and teams have a tendency to want to work on his corner.
They've gone after Horton early in the season. I think he tripped. Yeah, there it is. But this is a very difficult play to stop. When Dwight just runs down there and just hooks up, the only person who can really stop this is a linebacker or if a safety slides underneath. It's a tough play to cover for a defensive back.
First down at the 15. Like he's going to be stopped and then gets ahead for 3 yards before Jeff Shue from underneath.
49ers are trying to trap the Bengal defensive linemen, but they've done a good job of getting out of those traps. Ross Browner and Krumrie, Bujorski trading off in the middle, and Eddie Edwards on the other side. Rams tied up with St. Louis first quarter.
Lots of field goals all around the league in the late games today. And it's 3-0 here. Coming Coming up on 12 minutes remaining first half. San Francisco spends a timeout. So Joe Montana comes over to talk to Bill Walsh. You know, next Saturday is Thoroughbred Racing's $10 million day. It's the Breeders' Cup here on NBC Sports. It'll be a day to remember. From the sidelines, unknown when he'll be back. Earl Cooper, the tight end, the former fullback. Second down. There it is. There's Cooper, and there's a touchdown.
Seem to have that one all set up. Number 59, Jeff Shue, the outside linebacker, is the man who gets beat here. You see him trailing Cooper into the end zone. 6 points. Earl has come in and done a good job, but Russ was having a terrific year, as you mentioned before. He went out with that neck injury. 20 receptions, 2 touchdowns.
Worsing's been perfect this year. Boy, was Cooper wide open or what? 12 minutes remaining first half. Take a look at this play. 7-3. San Francisco takes the lead. Cooper with all the time in the world. Bowling continues next week on NBC at a special time, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Pacific. Yarder from Joe Montana. 49ers break on top 7-3, and Ray Worsing will kick it away to James Brooks and John Farley. This is Farley. Better go cover it. Well, it goes through the end zone for a touchback. So Cincinnati will start on their 20 as Farley just couldn't pick it up. So we continue from San Francisco. It'll be Bengals ball. They now trail the 49ers 7-3. We'll be right back, everybody.
GMAC, the financing people from General Motors. By Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste. And by your Firestone retailers coast to coast. Come on, America, drive over to Firestone.
There you see number 76, Dwayne Board, the sack man for the 49ers in the absence of Fred Dean.
And we'll talk about Fred Dean in a moment. We'll watch Board on this series. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati from their 20. M.L. Harris, the tight end, is open, and I think that's a first down for the Bengals. Collision there from Jim Vonhorst, the linebacker.
Vonhorst playing in place of Jack Reynolds. Let's watch from the end zone. Coming from your left side is going to be Dwayne Board. Good job of protection by Anthony Munoz. Jim Vonhorst coming out of the USFL to join the 49ers.
So another Cincinnati first down. So they've had no trouble moving the ball against the San Francisco defense today. This is a 1st and 10 from just across their 31. The one back is Kennebrew. He had the 4 touchdowns last week, which set a Bengal team record. And Board made that tackle. So let's pick him up on the replay.
Number 76 switched positions, went to the other side. I tell you one thing, not one of the 49er defensive players wants to spend an awful lot of time having to tackle Larry Kennebrew, 252 pounds. They say he's another Pete Johnson, only faster.
Almost a 2nd and 7 from the 34.
You see Board shifting around again.
Kennebrew again. Boy, bodies just bounce off him, and Kennebrew fights for a first down. This guy is 255 pounds at least, and his teammates affectionately call him the load. And you can see why. Dwight Hicks finally caught up with him.
But watch number 27, Carlton Williamson, who is usually an intimidator when it comes to tackling. On the right side of your screen, number 27, there he is coming up. Look at this. Bounces off. Kennebrew last week had such a good game in Houston that I think his confidence level has really increased tremendously. And I think you're going to see that throughout the rest of the season. He's just going to be a more confident player.
First down from the 42. Kennebrew, he's got it. Another another Cincinnati first down. Ronnie Lott covering, so Kinnebrew, boy, the sight of a 255-pound fullback rolling out for a pass, Gene.
Well, Larry Kinnebrew is not known for his receiving ability, although he did catch one short one last week for a touchdown. But he looks like a wide receiver on this play. Look at this catch. That's a beauty from a 252-pound fullback.
This telecast presented by Authority NFL, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of the 49ers and the NFL is prohibited. First down at the 36 of San Francisco. Now Charles Alexander, the other fullback, fights for a couple. Let's talk about that Fred Dean story you mentioned a moment ago, Gene. He held out before the season. He's looking for a lot of money. The 49ers have till November 17th to sign him, or Dean is lost for the year, and they're not going to sign him. Apparently, they're miles apart.
Well, from what you and I heard last night at our meeting, they seem to be more than miles apart. Let's watch this replay again. Now, watch Kinnebrew here. Here's a fullback who's not accustomed to catching an awful lot of passes. That is a nice catch. Ronnie Lott on the play. Ricky Ellison trailing.
2nd and 7 from the 34. Oh, that's a nice diving play.
Oh, they say it bounced. I think, oh, look, watch Isaac. The official was right there on the spot. He says it bounced.
Let's see if we can pick it up from our end zone camera. Sam White wasn't convinced.
Oh, no. I think he had a clean reception. He caught the ball, he hit the ground, and rolled over with it.
That's the second tough call that's gone against Cincinnati today. 3rd down and 7 now. For Collinsworth, and they rule he's out of bounds. No, sir.
That was a good call. Collinsworth was only able to get 1 foot down, but there's a Isaac is indicating it's against the 49ers. Might be holding or pass interference.
Holding, number 29, defense, first down.
Mario Clark.
So Cincinnati, which didn't get a couple of breaks on calls, they get the penalty call their way, and this will be a first down for the Bengals at the San Francisco 28.
But still, the 49ers are giving Kenny Anderson a lot of time to throw the football.
Yes, sir.
You have to give these Bengals an awful lot of credit for the way they played on offense. They have really moved the ball up and down the field against a very good defensive team.
First down at the 28. Alexander on the dump off. And fights ahead as Ricky Ellison missed the tackle. Von Horst finally made the grab.
Normally, when a team is missing tackles, you might say they're a little lackadaisical, they're taking it easy. But let's watch Ricky Ellison misses a tackle here against Alexander. When you're playing against backs as big as these players are, oftentimes missing a tackle doesn't mean you don't have your head in the game. These guys are huge. Alexander goes about 235 or so, and as we mentioned, Kinnebrew over 250. They're tough to bring down.
2nd and 7 from the 25. Bengals in the I formation. Brooks, the second man through with some daylight across the 20 and close to another first down. Ronnie Lott making the tackle.
Now Cincinnati is really developing the momentum on offense that they want. They're throwing the ball, they're being effective there, but more importantly, their offensive line is starting to move the line of scrimmage. They're pushing the 49er defensive players back. Brian Blados, a rookie on the left side. Anthony Munoz.
That's an overtime tie, Gene. Neither team scored in the overtime, and it ends that way. 2 tight ends now in for the Bengals. Look at this triple I formation in the backfield again.
They might try to draw them off sides. The first time they did that, here you see all the shifting around. I think you were right, Lenny, before.
3rd and 1. Flags down. Kinnebrew fights. And the whistle.
More than likely, they're going to get the Bengals for an illegal formation. When the flag is thrown that early, that's usually what happens, unless the defensive player lined up in the neutral zone.
They flagged the play down. Whistled it.
Look at Sam
is irate. Threw his clipboard down. Sam White's coached here, set the passing game for San Francisco in the Super Bowl. Do you think he wants this game, Gene, against his old team?
Not only his old team, but his mentor.
27, defense, first down.
Oh, I see what Sam is upset about. He said you can't stop the play. Because the offense should get the right of whether they want to accept the penalty or not.
Well, Walsh calmly looks on. He caught a break there. That play was broken for a potential touchdown. But it was whistled, stopped, and then the offside on the defense. So this will be first down, Cincinnati at the San Francisco 14. James Brooks to the outside. Dragged down at the 6-yard line, and James Brooks doing his best running as a Bengal yet before Ronnie Lott made the stop.
Well, they get some help from those big offensive linemen. Mike Wilson, 77, Max Montoya, number 65, and there's Blados, the big rookie. And again, like Wendell Tyler, he has that speed. Once he gets to the outside, he's tough. New England and Denver, first quarter, New England ahead. St. Louis, they're really playing good football. Ahead of the Rams in the second quarter, 10-3.
Brooks has rushed for 28 yards today. Seattle leading Kansas City. Called a 2nd and 2 at the 6. Looking for Mike Martin. Covered well by Dwight Hicks on the far side. Goal line stands are what the San Francisco defense is made of. Not only that Super Bowl back in Pontiac, you should see what they did to the Rams last week and what they repeatedly do. They just are tough in close.
Well, number 22, Dwight Hicks, really deserves an awful lot of credit for being able to move from a free safety position where he very rarely has to cover anyone man-on-man, moving out to that cornerback spot where most teams throw. And that's not an easy task. He deserves an awful lot of credit.
James Brooks is lined up as a wide receiver. Look out for an end around. Not this time. Kennebrew carries him with him for the touchdown.
To give you an idea of how strong this man is, he was hit by the hardest hitting defensive back, and certainly the hardest hitting cornerback in all of football, Ronnie Lott. Watch this. There's a hit, 3 yards. When he crosses the goal line, he goes down.
Sam White's fired up on the far side. They thought the other play shouldn't have been whistled dead, but Cincinnati shot it into the end zone nonetheless, and they take the lead. 9-7, kick pending with 7 minutes remaining first half. Breach has been perfect this year. Steve Kreider holds.
And the Cal man does it again.
An 11-play drive that covered 80 yards, capped off by the 6-yard run by Larry Kennebrew, his 5th touchdown in 2 weeks. So as Kennebrew carries them with him, the Bengals have taken the surprising 10-7 lead over the 49ers. Carl Monroe, 2 yards deep in the end zone. And Monroe stumbles and gets out to the 18. We have 6 minutes and 52 seconds remaining at sold-out Candlestick, and the Bengals lead the 49ers 10-7. And we come back, San Francisco ball. You see, 11 plays over 5 minutes.
Number 71 for the 49ers, all-pro tackle Keith Fawnhorse. We're going to watch his action a little bit.
First down from the 18, Montana to Dwight Clark. A quick little first down.
Lenny, I'm sure you've wondered what it's like to play down in the trenches with those big guys like Fawnhorse playing against someone like Eddie Edwards from the Bengals.
Never. I'd like to watch it.
Let's take a look. There he is in the middle of your screen. You can see he has his arms extended out. That's one of the new rules that's really helped the offense. It allows those offensive linemen to keep the big defensive linemen away from them by extending their arms.
First down from the 29.
Play action.
first down on a 15-yard pass play. Boy, is Montana mobile. That's what made that play go.
Wendell Tyler uncovers. Joe's waiting for him. He says, uncover, uncover, move to the inside, move, move, move. See, as a receiver, you can't be stationary because that defensive player can then pick the ball up and get an interception. But if you move, then the quarterback can lead you. And that's what Joe is waiting for Wendell to do, to uncover. That's how they came up with the first down.
2 plays, 2 first downs. Now they're out to the 45. Pitch back to Craig. And dragged down after picking up 2. Ross Browner again, the man in the middle. Browner set that Super Bowl record when these teams played. 10 unassisted tackles that day, a record that still stands. Browner likes playing the 49ers. Now San Francisco is going to go with a 2 tight end offense, Earl Cooper, and the rookie from Ohio State, John Frank.
And the Bengals expect a pass because they've come in with their nickel defense.
2nd and 8 from the 47. Here's Cooper, the man who scored the touchdown. Cooper was going down, no flag, looking for Frank, and Robert Jackson covering the youngster.
If John Frank hadn't slipped on that play, I think he would have been in position to catch the football. I think Joe had already thrown it when he slipped down. Oh yeah, he would have had that one easily.
Now Skeets Nehemiah in the game, Gene. Why hasn't he broken some more long bombs as everybody expected?
Well, everyone was just looking at the fact that he's an awfully fast runner. They've sort of forgotten about the fact that he didn't play a lot of football. You just don't come into this league and become a star without having played this game for a long time.
3rd and 8, floats it over the middle, intercepted by Reggie Williams. Reggie up across midfield. And Williams floats down to the 35 at least. I think he'll be whistled out of bounds at about the 33. An uncharacteristically thrown pass to Montana just floated it over the middle, Gene.
You're exactly right. That type of pass was uncharacteristic of Joe. Reggie Williams coming up with his 2nd interception this season. Now, Freddie Solomon is the intended receiver. When you're the intended receiver and the ball is not near you, you want to try to make sure no one else catches it. Well, I don't know if Freddie could have gotten there to knock that one away or not, but he didn't give it a big effort. Reggie Williams coming up with his 2nd interception of the season. Cincinnati's in good position. We'll be right back.
All year, best in the NFL, and throws 2 this afternoon, and Cincinnati's in business.
Well, that type of play has characterized the Bengal team. I think they lead the team on offense, or lead the league on offense in terms of turnovers. They're getting some breaks today. Now they're flip-flopping.
Reggie Williams, the big turnover. Cincinnati already leads at 10-7, and they've got a first down. They want more at the San Francisco 33. David Verser in motion. Board. Anderson gets away. Not this time. Big defensive play. There's Lawrence Pillars on his birthday. Happy birthday, Lawrence.
Nice bootleg action by Anderson. He wanted to get the ball down to Collingsworth on the left side. You can see Chris coming over, but good coverage from Eric Wright. There's Lawrence getting a little. Keena Turner runs by, making sure that he's out of bounds.
We'll call it a loss of 4. They're now backed up to their 36. 2nd and 14, and just straight ahead to Kennebrew, who gets close to the 30. Clock continues to run inside of 4 minutes remaining. Dwight Hicks on the tackle. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Candlestick Park, San Francisco. The Bengals lead the 49ers 10-7. 3.5 minutes remaining. First half. And the Bengals are at the San Francisco 30. This is the 3rd and 8. James Brooks made a nice play. And Brooks to the far side. And Brooks all the way down to at least the 5. What's going on here, Gene?
Well, what's going on is that the Bengal offense is playing exceptional football. But again, the 49ers were afraid coming into this game of this man, number 14, Kenny Anderson. Good play by Brooks. The linebacker, who normally would be covering him in that short area, had blitzed. Anderson avoided him and got the ball over to Brooks, and he turned on at speed.
This is what the Bengals wanted when they traded away Pete Johnson. They're finally getting it the last 2 weeks. This is 1st and goal at the 7. Collinsworth, touchdown.
Touchdown at Collinsworth.
Haven't heard that an awful lot here.
The Bluebirds come out as Cincinnati takes a 16-7 lead.
The key to this play is the fact that Anderson has so much time to throw the ball. Watch. Sits, sits, sits. Too much time. Eric Wright, he's out there on an island by himself with one of the best receivers in all of football. That's expecting too much. You can't give the quarterback, particularly a quarterback of this caliber, that much time to throw the football.
3 minutes and 10 seconds till halftime. Breach will try to make it 17-7 Bengals. And he does it. Pete Axthelm on NFL 84 said, take the Bengals and the points. So far, the Axers got it. Here's Anderson to his favorite receiver, Chris Collinsworth, for 6 more.
Well, maybe Pete knew something about the pass protection for the Bengals. Again, too much time.
17-7. We'll be back. November, big November here on NBC Sports. Very proud of the Breeders' Cup and our bowling tour. Of course, football next Sunday, the Skins game in golf and boxing. So, good November here on NBC, and an interesting game developing at Candlestick. 17-7. Carl Monroe brings it out. Monroe hit hard. Don Kern, the tight end, on special teams, he makes the tackle. Following the interception by Reggie Williams. 4 plays, 32 yards. Anderson to Collinsworth, 7 yards. And suddenly, it's 17-7. And Joe Montana, you saw his fiancée in that last commercial. Joe's got to produce some heroics here. And he's done it in the past.
Well, he certainly has. But as you mentioned before, coming into this game, Joe only had 3 interceptions. I think that was the best in the league for the quarterbacks that qualified. But 2 today. Very uncharacteristic.
First down from the 16. Knocked down. It's going the Bengals' way this afternoon. Ross Browner having a big game in the Bengal defensive line. 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in a surprising first half at Candlestick Park.
Well, it's surprising because when you look at the record of the Bengals, 3-6, but everyone agrees that this football team, the Cincinnati Bengals, are a much better team than 3-6.
Many people picked them to win their conference, or at least their division. At least their division. All right, we're going to watch this from the end zone and see what the defensive backs are looking at. 2nd down and 10. Completion to Freddie Solomon, his first of the day.
It's pretty tough for a linebacker to cover Freddie Solomon.
No, I just figured out why he only caught 1 pass today. He's wearing the white shoes.
That's right. Doesn't have the black shoes on. But let's watch. That's Reggie Williams. That's a tough assignment to ask Reggie Williams to cover a wide receiver with the kind of quickness and moves that Freddie Solomon has. But I think their design is to try to let the 49ers take the short pass. They don't want to give up a big touchdown.
First down at the 35. I'll explain the business with the shoes in a second. Skeets Nehemiah goes in motion.
Some pressure.
Boyd comes out of there. Completes it to a wide open Dwight Clark.
But I think Joe was over the line of scrimmage when he threw that one.
Flags are down. Good call, Gene. James Griffin covering. Dwight Clark. No one was within 10 yards of him, but it'll all be for naught. Illegal forward pass. There'll be a loss of down. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Oh, let's hear the call from Dick Jorgensen.
Illegal forward pass, number 16, offense, 5 yards, and loss of down.
So we have reached the 2-minute warning. When we come back, it'll be 2nd down and 15. San Francisco and their fans scratching their heads a bit over this first half at Candlestick. We'll be right back.
line of scrimmage. He's going to force Joe out of the pocket. Let's see how far over that line Joe is before he throws the football. Let's see. Oh, only about a yard. It was close. Only about one step pass.
2nd and 15 from the 30. Hammered in there. Dwight Clark getting it from Griffin and Horton. And incomplete. I mentioned Freddie Solomon's shoes. Freddie has all these quirks. He's an interesting character. Wearing the white shoe. He wore the black shoes last week. It claims that makes the defensive backs thinks he's moving slower with the black shoes. He also keeps long fingernails. He thinks it helps him grip the ball better. He's got all sorts of gigs going. Did you ever do that stuff when you were receiving here in San Francisco?
Well, regardless of the shoes and fingernails or whatever, the main thing that counts is how many passes you catch and how many touchdowns you score. Freddie's been doing a good job of that, so whether he wants to wear blue shoes, green shoes, they don't care. Just keep catching them.
Well, you won't see Bob or Ahmad or Bill or Axel's shoes. They'll probably be under the desk, but you'll see their heads at halftime on NFL 84. 3rd and 15. Earl Cooper down at the 35, so San Francisco going nowhere, trailing 17-7. And Cincinnati chooses to stop the clock with 1:44 and use a timeout because they want to score some more here.
Well, the Bengals have 2 timeouts to go with 1:44. We'll be back, pick up the action after this message.
Highlights. Max Runniger back to punt. He holds a distinction. First punter ever called on that new fake acting penalty this year. You can't act as if you were hit if you weren't hit. 49ers say bad call, he was hit anyway. Here's Simmons at the 16. Simmons to the outside. Simmons, as Runniger is the guy who slowed him down. And more boo birds are out as everything is going the Bengals' way. Here's a punter helping to make the stop. Simmons nearly broke it. 24-yard return after a 49-yard punt.
Simmons got a very good block from the backup tight end, Rodney Holman, number 82, to spring that play. 1:30 to go. The Bengals have 2 timeouts. That's plenty of time. What a surprise. Look at that yardage. Woohoo.
And the 49ers have really struggled in the 3rd quarter of games this year. So
a tight split from Collingsworth. I'm sorry, but they like to get him in these tight splits.
They drag him down inside the 35. 2nd sack of the day. Lawrence Pillar's involved, as well as this man, Manu Tuiasosopo, involved in the sack. Now he comes off as they go into the nickel. And a hurry-up offense.
Anderson wants to get the ball to Collingsworth coming across the middle, but the 49ers from his zone defense was up in there.
And there they go again. Gary Big Hands Johnson, the former Charger, with a sack. Sack time here in San Francisco. That's his first solo sack of the year.
Maybe the 49er defensive line coach set something on the sidelines, because heretofore Kenny Anderson had been getting all day to throw the football, and now on 2 successive plays, San Francisco has just been pouring through, and now they've taken a timeout.
So 4 sacks today now, officially, by San Francisco, as they are pouring it on. That's 28 sacks now for the year. We have 68 seconds remaining in the first half. And Cincinnati is leading Bill Walsh's team 17-7. This is going to be 3rd and about a mile when play resumes.
I would think in this situation that what Sam Weich wants to do, with 1:08 to go, he's leading. I don't think he's going to try to get the first down here on a pass, because he has too much to lose. If he comes up with an interception here, the 49ers with 1 timeout remaining, they're still in position to score. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see them do something fairly conservative and punt the ball away. And if the 49ers are going to score, make them earn it, make them come back. Don't turn the football over right here.
Ken Anderson is facing a 3rd and 25. They've added 5 seconds to the clock, Gene. So there's 1:13 remaining, not 1:08. as we've heard them today. Draw play, Alexander. It's out to about the 33 before Ron Ferrari came over, helped out by Dwight Hicks.
49ers call a timeout.
So San Francisco wants the ball back. 1:05 remaining in the half.
But when the 49ers get the ball back here, assuming the Bengals punt the ball effectively, they're going to have a long way to go with 1:05 to go. And that's why Sam didn't take a chance to put the ball in the air on that play.
San Francisco awfully confident that they can do something in a short period of time, because another turnover, which Cincinnati will be waiting for, will be really costly.
Well, with 1:05 to go, a couple of big passes can put the 49ers in field goal range. And the other thing we have to remember, the half can't end on a penalty if the offense has the ball and the penalties against the defense. So you can always take your last shot and throw the ball down by the goal line.
Sam White has already started his halftime speech. San Francisco's out of timeouts now, so they'll move the ball without a timeout. Pat McAnally, third leading punter in the conference, is back. Dana McLemore is standing at his 25 for the 49ers. Good high spiral kick. McLemore takes it nearly dead in his tracks and heads to the outside. So he gets to the 28. And San Francisco will have exactly 54 seconds. Guy Frazier made that tackle for Cincinnati. 47-yard punt from McAnally and a 9-yard return by McLemore.
Since the 49ers are without a timeout, I would assume that the Bengals are going to be in what you might call a prevent defense, make the 49ers catch the ball in front of them and try to keep them from going out of bounds. Hopefully let that clock run down.
3 wide receivers in there. Nehemiah, Solomon, Clark, first down from the 28. Craig on the dish off. Gets maybe 2 yards with John Simmons covering, but it stops the clock with 48 seconds remaining till halftime. Montana looking for the signal from Matt Cavanaugh, the backup quarterback on the sideline, who stands next to Bill Walsh. Second and 8 from the 30.
The 49ers have a lot of speed on the right side with Nehemiah and Solomon.
That's Nehemiah. Gets to the 40 and a first down. The clock is running. 40 seconds left. Roy Griffin covering. Montana motioning. Clock continues to roll. And here they go without a huddle. Oh, in his hands and out. Nearly another completion. As Nehemiah nearly had 2 in a row, with Griffin covering again, along with Guy Frazier.
I think Ronaldo made the mistake of jumping when it really wasn't necessary on that play. When he jumps, watch, he gets his body out of position. He doesn't have his body near the football. It goes on the side. He really didn't have to jump. If he just stood there and reached up, he could have plucked that ball out of the air.
Second and 10 from the 40. There are all the numbers. 25 seconds remaining in the half. Got everybody on that side. Interception. Another one. The third of the day. The second of the day by Bobby Kemp. So here Joe Montana with 3 interceptions against them all season long. Turns in 3 in the first half. Just an astounding statistic here as the Bengals lead at 17-7 with 18 seconds remaining in the first half.
Number 26, Bobby Kemp, has been out all season. Came back last week against Houston, probably their best defensive back. Goes up for the interception. Gets both feet down.
It's amazing when you think you have a game figured out. San Francisco a prohibitive favorite, best team in the NFC, and here they come in, and Montana's intercepted 3 times. Little pass for Brooks, heads out of bounds with 11 seconds remaining in the half. And here's Cincinnati with a 17-7 lead, and really, who would have thought it? I know the philosophy is that Cincinnati was a much better team than their record showed, but San Francisco really was on a roll, Gene.
But one of the important facts about this Cincinnati team is that on offense, they lead the league in turnovers coming into this game. 16 interceptions. They've really been a team that was self-destructing. But when Kenny Anderson has been at the helm, they've played good football. He's missed I think a little over 3 games with injuries.
Cincinnati did not turn the ball over in this first half after leading the league in that statistic. And that'll be the last play of this. Well, no. Cincinnati. Bengals take the timeout with 3 seconds left. Ricky Ellison, I thought he'd left the half end on that one. Ellison on the tackle.
Well, Sam is trying to take advantage of everything he can. He's sending in his wide receivers. I think they'll do that traditional Big Ben play. Here, what he's going for is the fact that, again, the half can't end if there's a foul by the defense. So he has an opportunity to take it. Might as well go for it.
With Pittsburgh winning earlier, Cincinnati needs a win to stay within 2 games of the Steelers, and they meet head-to-head at sold-out Riverfront Stadium next Sunday. So Cincinnati is very much alive in the AFC Central race if they can hang on to this lead in the second half.
Well, this isn't a big lead when you're playing against the 49ers. Their offense is really awesome, and they can come out in the second half and put a bunch of points on the board. So Cincinnati's going, their defense in particular, must maintain the same effort they had in the first half if they're going to be successful.
Straight ahead, quick hitting play to Jones Alexander. Alexander gets close to the San Francisco 40 before he stopped. Gun goes off. Sam White against his old team. The crowd boos. White and the Bengals are happy though as they have a 17-7 halftime lead, intercepting Joe Montana 3 times. NFL 84 coming up. That's the end of the first half. Our score, Cincinnati 17, the San Francisco 49ers 7. A lot more to come. We'll see you a bit later on. Those 3 turnovers, and Cincinnati held the ball longer than San Francisco did in the first half, Chief.
Those turnovers, they have killed Cincinnati all season long. They have it going in their favor. They don't have any. Things have turned around. Maybe this will be a pivotal game for the Bengals. They need it, trailing Pittsburgh by 2 in the AFC Central.
Here's a quirky stat. San Francisco has just 1 touchdown in the 3rd quarter this year. Let's see what happens as Carl Monroe gets things going to start the second half. And a good return from Monroe across the 30. And San Francisco will start at their own 32.
Well, Lenny, I think this first possession by the 49ers in terms of their intensity will give us a good idea of just how they're going to play here in the second half. Against the Rams last week, they were very high emotionally, and it just showed very intense play. They've gone back in half, they've come out, probably made some adjustments, but let's watch the intensity level.
The rushing game for San Francisco, a non-factor today, which has not been the case this year. Let's see what Wendell Tyler does about that. Tyler gets a handful, gets out close to the 39 before he's grabbed by his teammates on the near side. San Francisco had 12 first downs in that first half, 11 of the 12 through the air. Tyler threatens to become the first San Francisco rusher to gain 1,000 yards since Delvin Williams in 1976. In fact, since 1959, only Delvin Williams in 76 has rushed for over 1,000 years. A quarter of a century of only 1,000-yard rushing season.
Oh, yeah. Beyond those 2, you go back a long way to Joe DeJet Perry and Hugh McElhaney.
2nd and 2.
Good run.
Roger Craig breaks it into Cincinnati territory for a first down.
Well, there's the intensity that I was talking about. Watch this play. Out in front, Randy Cross, number 51. Good blocks. Roger Craig does the rest himself. As I mentioned earlier, he comes into this game with over 700 yards in combined total, including his passing receptions, 437. A little over 300 rushing coming into this game.
Cooper goes in motion, first down at the 48. Craig may head on, bounces off, and moves ahead to the 46. Ross Browner on the middle of the pile there. Big number 79 for the Bengals. For the first half he had.
Lenny, when I see what the 49ers are doing, the way they've come out and they're running the football, usually a team does this, a passing team, which San Francisco primarily is. They do this to let the other team know that they're here to play football. In other words, this is an attitude situation. They're saying, we're going to run the ball at you, and we're going to beat you. Then once you do
the
that,
Bengals 46. Sorry, Gene. Here's Tyler again. Tyler fights ahead to the 41, but still a couple of yards shy of the first down.
49ers, let's watch the blocking. Let's watch number 57, Reggie Williams. Now, he's up against a big man, Bubba Paris, a 300-pound tackle. It's just what you like to have happen, right? A 300-pounder come down on top of you.
Tyler held at just 27 yards. It was a third and about 3.
Oh, what a hit.
Horton colliding with Carl Monroe. You can hear it up here.
Carl Monroe, I am surprised that he held on to the football because Ray Horton had a direct shot at him. I could see it was going to happen, but Monroe, who's not a big man, holds on. Watch this hit. Oh. You take a shot like that, then you just have to start wearing a flak jacket.
Right. Both these quarterbacks wear those. First down at the 34. San Francisco marching. Formation. Well, you can hear those grunts and groans as Tyler runs into Ross Browner.
Well, I think they've decided they want to let Cincinnati know they're not going to lie down and play dead. If the Bengals are going to win this football game, they're going to have to earn it. There's Wendell's doing his walk. He mentioned in the paper earlier this week. He says, I have a walk. Right. I have a walk when I'm doing well. I kind of swagger.
He's replaced by another tight end, John Frank. So the 49ers with 2 tight ends here. 2nd and 9 at the 33. Nearly intercepted again, as it was intended for Freddie Solomon. Ray Griffin had a shot at that one.
Now, Cincinnati is doing something here on defense that they didn't do in the first half. They are double teaming Dwight Clark. They're putting one defender at the line of scrimmage and they're backing him up. So what they're saying to Joe is, we're not going to let you throw to your favorite receiver. You're going to have to go someplace else. They've done it on every passing down.
Tyler's back in. This is 3rd and 9 at the 33. Much too early in the game to call this a big play, so it's a big little play here for the 49ers. Opening minutes of the 3rd quarter. For Clark. Lewis breathing on the coverage. First down at the 20. 13-yard play.
Dwight comes up with a super catch on this play. And it's super because he has to do so much work to get there. Look at what he has to do. Good coverage there by Breeden. Number 34 comes across. Look at this. Nice catch. Beautiful work.
That's all legal? All those bumps and pushes?
As long as it's within 5 yards, he can hit you as many times as he wants.
Really used to be one bump. Now it's the 5-yard area. First down at the 20. The march goes on. Clark, as Horton fell down, and Clark has another first down inside the 10.
That is the same play that they ran against Horton earlier in the game, and he fell down on that one too. I don't know what his problem is. The field is in good shape.
Yeah, it's not that San Francisco candlestick slippery turf situation. It's firm today, but you'll see him go down. There he goes.
That's the 2nd time.
You're right. First and goal at the 8 for Montana and company. This drive has consumed nearly 5 minutes. Tyler eludes a tackle in the backfield. Comes the other way. And all of that for no gain as 6 white shirts go at him and go ball hawking as well. Ross Browner, Ray Horton,
a flag down. What official has thrown a flag?
Well, we will hear what the bank president has to say shortly. Dick Jorgensen. Maybe too many guys piled on. Personal foul. doesn't commit that many penalties. They're right up there with Miami for fewest penalties committed, but that one's costly. First and goal from the 4.
Well, the last time they were down in this area and got a touchdown, it went to Earl Cooper. There's Tyler. Fumble. No, they're saying it's incomplete. I thought he had it long enough, but
didn't get the feet down, perhaps. Simpkins on the coverage.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because on a pass reception, when you catch the football, if you're still in the air, you have to come down and get the feet on the ground before it is a completion, then rule a fumble. Wendell Tyler, right at the goal line,
never got the feet down.
And he loses the ball.
Good call. So second and goal from the 4. They'll operate with 2 tight ends. Cooper, 3 tight ends. Dixon's in there as well. Dixon, Cooper, and Frank.
It's an unbalanced line to the right is what they have.
Tyler nearly lost the football and gets back to the line of scrimmage, which will set up third and goal from the 4.
I think the 49ers had about 10 men on the right side of the line. Let's watch from ground level. Watch him come back into bound. Right back out. Almost loses the football.
And Tyler's had that fumble tag on him, but managed to hang on that time. Cincinnati veterans who remember the Super Bowl are saying, well, we can do a goal line stand a la Dan Buns, perhaps the way you did a few years ago.
Well, this would be a significant goal line stand. If they can keep the 49ers out of the end zone here and force them to kick. Throws it a lot of time. No!
And he's sacked by Eddie Edwards. So, big play here. And this will set up 4th and goal from the 6. And I think that Glenn Collins was in there as well. Let's check it out. Here comes Collins. Yes, it was Glenn Collins, defensive end, in there for Eddie Edwards. So Wersching will try a field goal. A 29-yard attempt for Ray. And it's good. So they do not come away empty-handed. They hold the ball for a long time and come away with 3. So it's now 17-10 Bengals.
Lately, by Atra from Gillette, the essence of shaving, and by IBM.
Back at sold-out Candlestick Park, San Francisco, a drive that took 6 minutes, but they had to settle for 3 for Ray Wersching, the NFL's leading scorer. Now has 77 points this year. Tries to make the ball a little bit more malleable, as you see Mike Martin back at his goal line, as well as James Brooks for Cincinnati. Sam White knows he wants to hang on to the ball this possession. His lead has been cut to 10. To 7, rather. It was 10.
Good kick.
Brooks at the goal line. It's up across the 20 to the 23, and that's where Kenny Anderson and company will take over for the first time in the second half. Carl Monroe with a big hit on this play.
That's why you see James Brooks gingerly walking off the field. See if we can see the hit on the right. Well, let's see. Trips him up there. There it is. Ooh.
Up and over. He'll have time to lick his wounds. We'll be right back. 17-10 Cincinnati. The camera is zooming towards that far right-hand corner. Sunlight will remain in that corner, and it's tough for receivers. That limits where receivers go in the 4th quarter of games. Sam White was hoping he wouldn't have to go in that direction in the 4th quarter, but he will when the 4th quarter begins. We're still midway.
Comes a blitz.
Intercepted. It was intended for Brooks. And Keena Turner nearly had the interception as Kenny Anderson escaped in the backfield.
49ers putting on the pressure from the right side of your screen. I believe it's number 27, Carlton Williamson, the strong safety. But watch Kenny duck. Gets away from Williamson, and Keena Turner nearly comes up with the interception, number 58. Good play. There's a linebacker that should be headed to the Pro Bowl.
I wish I'd give you a vote. You voted for him twice. 2nd and 10 from the 22 for Cincinnati. The crowd yelling for defense. Here's Larry Kennebrew. And they get defense on the far side. Jim Fonte
Horst, among others. You know, we'd like to take a moment and wish Al Heim well. He's the public relations director for Cincinnati, underwent quadruple bypass surgery a couple of weeks ago. He's recuperating at home, and I think the way the Bengals are playing this afternoon, it's helping his recuperative powers.
Well, I'd like to join you in wishing Al the best. He's been very helpful to all of us in the broadcasting business for a number of years, and a speedy recovery.
Let's call it 3rd and 7 from the 25. Exploded at Candlestick, Gene.
Kenny is forcing this ball, trying to get it to Collingsworth.
Yes, I have it.
Yeah, he thinks he's still in college, because in college it plays dead when you go down.
He has to get up.
So the ball's still alive. He says, I got it, but get up, Ronnie. You can still run. Now he's, wait a minute. I've been to the NFL. I can still run.
Finally, David Verser. Well, he missed him.
Did you see? Verser was trying to knock the ball loose.
Montoya came over there, so Ronnie Lott gets a big hug from Dwight Hicks. Those two have changed positions at times. First down from the 25. Craig is stopped right there as the Cincinnati defense has to dig in right here with 7:35 remaining third quarter, and the 49ers looking for the tie. Eddie Edwards on the tackle, number 73.
Turnovers have been the big story in this game in the first half. The Bengals got the benefit of 3 49er turnovers. Now the tide has turned. 49ers now at the 25-yard line, and these fans here would love for nothing more than to see their 49ers get on the scoreboard.
2nd and 11, the 25. Freddie Solomon heads off to the far side. Another interception. Ray Griffin. Montana's been intercepted 4 times today after being intercepted just 3 times in the 8 previous games he played.
Joe sees Dwight Clark open down the middle. He sees him open, but he doesn't see Ray Griffin, number 44. I think Ray was sort of sitting out there, sort of just waiting, trying to sucker Joe in there, and Dwight was wide open. Let's watch Dwight. He's going to break to the middle. Joe sees this. He sees him open right there. But there comes 44.
And a little excuse me shove from Robert Jackson. A game of turnovers, 6:56 remaining third quarter. The Bengals nursing a 7-point lead.
The Bengals here by the bay. The shadow, dude.
They sure do. Nobody has ever intercepted Joe Montana 4 times in the same professional game the Bengals have today. 1st and 10 from the 23, Kennebrew. The defense for San Francisco.
I think they are angry they didn't get to go to the sideline and rest enough. They came back out fired up. Carlton Williamson leading the way. The Jets over Miami in the second quarter.
New England doing it on the road at Mile High Stadium in the third. St. Louis, the high-scoring offense hasn't gotten going yet for them, but wow, Seahawks laying it on the Chiefs. 2nd and 9 at the 25. Collingsworth, but short of a first down, with Eric Wright watching him on the far side. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Sports, Cincinnati style, WLWT Channel 5.
Back at Candlestick Park, Len Berman along with Gene Washington. 5:51 remaining third quarter. The Bengals lead the 49ers 17-10.
Lenny, the only loss of the year for the 49ers against Pittsburgh, the 49ers did not stop the third down conversions. The Steelers kept getting them by inches, but they got them. Against the Rams, they held the Rams on third down.
This is 3rd and 1. Kennebrew gets the 1. Awfully tough to stop as he barrels out to the 35. First down for the Bengals. Milt McCole in on the tackle.
Let's watch Mr. Kennebrew from ground level. He gets hit right at the line of scrimmage, but as we've seen all game long, one man is not going to stop Mr. Kennebrew in his tracks.
First down to 35. The Bengals would love nothing more than to exercise a little ball control. 5 minutes remaining, third quarter. Tipped. Incomplete.
Keena Turner was in there in a hurry. I don't know if he's a player who tipped that ball, but he put the pressure on from his outside linebacking spot, number 58. My choice for the Pro Bowl.
3 votes.
You keep it track, huh? But he's some player. He is some player. Wasn't a high draft choice, so you know when he came in, he really had to earn his reputation. But I tell you, the players around the league, they'll all vote for him.
Second down from the 35.
Here comes the pressure again.
Ron Ferrari sacks Anderson. That's his first sack of the year for the third-year player out of Illinois. Take a look.
Number 54. There you see Dwayne Board getting pushed by. Pushes Anderson right into the arms of Ferrari.
Third and 17.
A big 3rd and 17 play, backed up to the 28. They need the 45. 49er defense has turned in 5 sacks today, Gene.
Well, Brooks is in the slot.
They keep it simple. Alexander goes nowhere. And Cincinnati will have to punt again. Jim Stuckey with a big tackle. So a lot going on here. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. Let's go to NFL 84 in New York.
Okay, thank you very much. In Kansas City, Dave Brown has his second interception return for a touchdown. Earlier, he had a 95-yard return. This time, a 58-yarder on a pass thrown by Todd Blackledge. The Seahawks now have 3 interception returns for touchdowns. It's 38-0 Seahawks.
Wow, Bill McAtee, Dave Brown's having a career today.
The Seahawks continue to do it even without Kurt Warner. Some coaching job up there by Chuck Knox.
Pat McInally will punt it away to Dana McLemore. Not a good kick. McLemore all the way to the 45. So San Francisco will certainly have the field position. Rodney Holman made the tackle. Poor kick from McInally. 17-yard return for McLemore. 49ers in business, looking for the tie. Cincinnati continues to lead San Francisco 17-10. San Francisco starting at the Bengals 45. Craig. Maybe 3.
Craig.
Jeff Shue, the linebacker, on the tackle today. What would you do if you were running that huddle? What would you do to get things going on that 49er team? Offensively, they're really struggling.
Well, I don't think the Bengals have really stopped the 49ers offense in terms of preventing them from moving down the field. They've stopped plays or series with the interceptions. That's where they've really taken advantage of the 49ers. 4 interceptions.
2nd and 8 from the 43. Overthrows Monroe. The pressure was on. Blitz from Ray Griffin that time. Bobby Kemp covering, and this will set up 3rd and 8.
One of the things you can usually always say about the Cincinnati Bengals defensive secondary is that they might not be big in stature, but they really hit. They deliver some blows. Bobby Kemp, Jackson, Breeden.
Well, there's the point you were making when you look at the yardage. 49ers have moved the ball. A couple of lengths of football fields, but hasn't paid off. Skeets Nehemiah in motion. Flag is down, out to Craig. Craig is tripped up.
What a play from Reggie Williams.
Good open field tackle from Williams, but let's see what the flag is. Motion. San Francisco.
They'll decline.
It'll be declined, and San Francisco will punt.
Illegal motion, number 83, offense.
That was Nehemiah.
4th down.
Well, my second
second place vote for the Pro Bowl, although it would be in another conference, goes to Reggie Williams, number 57. Watch this play. Open field against a good runner. Look at that.
That's pretty.
That's a nice play.
Runninger is standing at his 40. Martin and Simmons are deep. You know, the Bengals haven't returned the punt for a touchdown in 10 years. They won't return this one either. But they will get a touchback out of it. So Runninger a bit unhappy as Cincinnati will have the opportunity to bring it out to their 20. He wanted to put it out of bounds. So 2:34 remaining third quarter. Cincinnati continues to lead by 7. Dallas will be hosting New England. Good interconference game. Good Turkey Day game. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen looking forward to that Thanksgiving Day. One of the many events this November we hope you'll remember right here on NBC Sports.
Number 27, strong safety Carlton Williamson for the 49ers. One of the best run support men in football.
Kinnebrew, maybe one. Louis Kelcher, the big man, in on the action. How much is he weighing these days, Gene?
Louis is down. I think he's still down. He's holding his knee. No. 49ers have used 3 people at that nose tackle position. Mano Tuiasosopo, Louis Kelcher, and the rookie, Michael Carter. Carter had a good game last week against the Rams. I think he came up with 2 sacks. Louis probably goes, I'm sure he's over 300 pounds.
Well, 310, but the concern right now is Louis is a guy who's retired a couple of times. Retired once in San Diego, retired even before he came to San Francisco, decided to play, and he is getting up. Yeah. And he's able to get off under his own power, so Louis, one of those many, many people who have come out of the Charger organization, including Bill Walsh and Ray Wersching and Big Hands Johnson and Billy Shields, and the list goes on and on. They love that freeway connection here. Long ride, but still you can get there by freeway from San Diego to San Francisco.
But the important thing is that they're in a different conference.
Right.
So don't trade to someone you have to play against the line.
2nd and 10 from the 20 for Ken Anderson.
Comes a pressure.
Oh, lateral. Flipped it off to M.L. Harris. And Harris gets out near the 40. A beautiful play from Kenny Anderson as he was about to go down. Ronnie Lott finally made the stop on Harris.
I think M.L. Harris was as surprised as anyone. I think the fans are booing because maybe they felt that Kenny Anderson was in the grabs. No, he gets rid of it just as they start to pull him down.
Got away from Hicks.
Good running by M.L. Harris. Dwight Hicks said that M.L. Harris is the fastest tight end that they have ever played. Here at number 27, Carlton Williamson coming in on the blitz. Forced Anderson up the middle.
Crowd's unhappy. Another first down for Cincinnati at their 41. Play action fake and out to Isaac Curtis. Curtis gets a bunch out near the 48, a pickup of 7 with Dwight Hicks covering. So Curtis catching a few more passes. There was some thought that maybe he was at the end of the line, as they said about Kenny Anderson midway through this season, when Boomer Esiason was playing and Anderson was not and Curtis was not. And now Curtis is doing the job today, and I don't know about that quarterback controversy with Esiason and Anderson. It's clearly number 1, and after today, it'll be number 1 for a while this season. New England over Denver, third quarter by 1. There's a 2nd and 3 at the 48. Alexander, short of a first down at midfield. Dwayne Board making the stop.
There's Pee Wee down in the middle. The Jets out in front of Miami still in the third quarter.
Will that be the first loss of the year for the Dolphins? There are 39 seconds remaining third quarter, which means the streak will continue. San Francisco, despite all the scoring they do, just 1 third quarter touchdown the entire season. An unexplainable bit of trivia. First down for Charles Alexander. That may be the last play of the third quarter. Ronnie Lott making the tackle.
As you pointed out earlier, now Cincinnati is going to be going in that direction where their receivers will be looking back into that sun as a shadow
comes across the field here, and that can be a significant factor.
Get your gun out. All right, there's the third quarter. It was 17-10 at halftime, 17-7 at half. Now it's 17-10 after 3. We'll be back right after these messages from your local station.
By International Harvester, our commitment is forever. By exceptionally smooth Michelob, where you're going, it's Michelob. And by the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start.
Here's a good look at how you look from darkness into daylight. Good thing there's not a 95-mile-an-hour fastball coming in there, but I'm sure trying to catch a pass from light to dark has its problems too.
The receiver on the far side of the field, when he looks back to the quarterback, when he looks back at Anderson, he's going to be looking directly into the sun.
That's what Sam White had hoped to avoid, he told us here in the fourth quarter. And could have been Brian Blados who stood up too soon in the Cincinnati line. Let's see.
False start, number 74, offense, still first up.
You got it, Eagle Eye. On the left side of your screen, there he is, Brian Blados, trying to get an early start.
Rookie from North Carolina. Another guy's up around 300 pounds. Boy, San Francisco has rushed a total of just 50 yards through 3 quarters. Backed up into their own end of the field. 1st and 15 from the 48. Little pass to Rodney Holman, and Holman doesn't quite get to midfield. Jim Fonhorst covering, one of the Fonhorst brothers here. So it's 17-10 Cincinnati here. Let's see what's going on in New York.
All right, Lenny, Denver has pulled now to within 1 of New England. John Elway will stand in and hook up with Butch Johnson. The play covers 17 yards, a little moonwalk coming up here from Butch. But Rich Karlis missed his 2nd extra point of the day, so it's 13-12, Patriots still leading.
Come on, Bill, tell those officials to give him a 5-yard penalty for the demonstration. Can't do that anymore. 2nd and 14 from the 49.
He's going for it all.
To the daylight and overthrows Mike Martin. Well, you know, a week ago they called Roger Craig of the 49ers with a 5-yard penalty when he spun the football after his touchdown. You can spike, you can't spin, and I didn't think you could do a little moonwalk, but apparently they're a little bit more lenient.
The rule says that if it's a spontaneous demonstration, it's not a foul. Now, evidently, they feel that if you are practiced enough to spin it, it's not spontaneous.
3rd and 14 from the 49.
Comes a pressure.
Looking at outside again to Martin and overthrows him. Boy, he had Mario Clark beaten. Cincinnati will have to punt away.
You know, I get the feeling Mike Martin probably is the fastest Bengal receiver. When he was running that play, it appeared as though his leg was bothered. He was really laboring. He was wide open, and Kenny put it up there for him to run under it, but he just couldn't get there.
Wouldn't you love to see Cincinnati try a fake on this punt? Would that be a gutsy call?
Well, McAnally has thrown the ball. I think he's thrown it a couple times for completion, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Dana McLemore is deep. He does indeed punt it away. A little bit better, but not much better. It bounces out of bounds at the 17, and that's where San Francisco will start. So we've played 1 minute of the 4th quarter. The Bengals continue to lead the 49ers by 7. Just a 34-yard punt for McAnally. We'll be right back, everybody. 12 in their last 26. Team sells out and doesn't play well at home for some unexplained reason. 1st down at the 17, complete to Earl Cooper. 1st down and more to the 33, and the crowd yells Coop. John Simmons on the coverage, 17-yard pickup.
Well, the Bengals haven't figured out how to stop that play. That, as you remember, that was a scoring play in the 1st half. 49ers got a touchdown, and that very same action.
Gets him out to the 34. 13.5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati's lead is 7. Freddie Solomon's out this side. Dwight Clark is in close on the other side. Wendell Tyler. And Tyler out to the 48. So 2 quick plays. They're rolling. Robert Jackson on the tackle. They've gone 31 yards in 2 plays.
No one touches Wendell Tyler until he's about 4 or 5 yards downfield. Look at the blocking by the 49er offensive line. No one touches him until the safety does. I think that's Robert Jackson, 37.
And a Bengal is down. While they attend to him, it may be Ray Horton. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back. A little over 13 minutes remaining, 4th quarter from Candlestick Park. Sam Weiss worked under Bill Walsh here in San Francisco, trying to come back home and do something to his mentor. He's got the lead. There's the picture from the Super Bowl year. Bill Walsh on the right, and in the middle up on the left side is Sam Weiss. You know, when Weiss went 0 for 5 to start this rookie campaign of his, Bill Walsh called him and offered a sympathetic ear.
Well, you know, it's the situation where you have the mentor and the pupil. You try to watch out for your guys, someone that you sort of tutored along to see if they're doing well. And I think that Bill would like to see Sam do well in any game other than this one.
Right. They're continuing to tend to the young cornerback, Ray Horton, on the field. And they brought out a movable dolly in order to help Horton come off the field. As you see Bill Walsh on the sideline, but out at the 47, they're helping Horton, who went down in that last play. He's the 2nd-year cornerback out of Washington. Called on to fill some big shoes this year. You can see him grimacing, obviously, there. Perhaps a knee.
Well, they were attending to his right knee. Well, we've certainly seen enough serious knee injuries over the last few weeks in the NFL. Kellen Winslow certainly comes to mind from San Diego. We hope that isn't the case with Ray Horton.
Miami Dolphins have taken the lead, trying to go 10-0. Sam Weiss trying to shade his eyes. Ray Griffin has replaced the injured Horton. First down at the 49 after 2 quick 49er bursts. Solomon slipped and fell, and ball thrown out of bounds. The crowd saying contact from Lewis Breeden, who made the coverage there. A lot going on. Let's go back to New York in NFL 84.
Lynn, watch this hit at Giant Stadium as Miami has come back now against the Jets. Nat Moore on the reception. He is hit hard, though, by Ken Troy and Kirk Springs, but somehow he hangs on to the football. Woody Bennett then ran it in from the 3, and the former Jet made it 14-10. Miami leads it.
Wow, is that a 360 or a 470?
Anyway, give him a 10. It was a perfect flip.
Looked like Kurt Bavacchia. 2nd down from the 49. Draw play. Craig is wrestled down by James Griffin after he gets down to the 47. This will set up 3rd down on a bunch.
John Frank, number 86, checking in at the tight end position for the 49ers.
Continues to run inside of 12.5 minutes remaining as they start to do the wave here at Candlestick.
Big down.
Leading by 7.
Big down.
Bill Ring, the sole back in the backfield. Cooper goes in motion.
Here comes a blitz.
And there's Ring. First down for Bill Ring. Down to the 31. A big play. Robert Jackson finally forcing him out of bounds. 15-yard pickup for Bill Ring, 4th-year player out of BYU who specializes on the special teams.
The 49ers caught the Rams in a blitz on a play very similar to this last week, and they beat him when Roger Craig caught a pass like this and went for a touchdown. This week they catch the Bengals in that same situation, get it out to Bill Ring, and picked up a really key first down.
Crowd comes alive. First down at the 31. Wendell Tyler, and Tyler has a first down at the 19.
watch this hole open. On that side, John Ayers, the center, Fred Quillen, Bubba Perez. Good blocking, big hole. Wendell Tyler busts through there, and he holds on. Look, now when Wendell gets into traffic, you see how he starts to put that other hand over the football? He's very conscious of not turning loose of the football, not fumbling.
Amazing, those same fans who were booing are now suddenly cheering.
That's what you get when you pay your 15 bucks.
First down, and Tyler is thrown for a loss by Ross Browner. Browner's made some big defensive plays from his defensive line position for the Bengals today. The clock now down close to 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
49ers have gotten in this situation an awful lot in this game. But in the other situations, the Bengals have turned back the tide with interceptions.
Comes off and Ring off and Frank off and Cooper is in, as well as Derek Harmon in the backfield with Craig. 2nd and 12 at the 22.
Ray Griffin over. He's up against Dwight Clark. Joe's going to take a timeout. Come over and talk about this. I would imagine that the 49ers would want to try to work on Ray Griffin, who is a backup cornerback and normally plays on the other side. We'll see.
10:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Cincinnati continues to nurse that 7-point advantage. We'll be right back. John Henry may prevent him from racing, but it will be a $10 million day here on NBC. 2nd and 12. Derek Harmon. Harmon down to the 12. Short of a first down. Lewis Breeden on the tackle. Harmon, a 9th-round draft choice out of Cornell.
Here in the second half, the 49ers have gotten most of their success running the football. Wendell Tyler, Roger Craig, and now Derek Harmon. Their offensive line has done a terrific job of blocking. Number 51, Randy Cross, the man leading the way on that play.
There's so many guys here. They throw in Ring and Harmon. They keep coming at you. They have to get just across the 10. They're at the 12. 3rd down and a long 2. Clark, but a flag has been thrown. And it may be a hold. The Cincinnati players seem excited despite the completion. Let's see, a hold.
There it is.
There it is. That's the call. An inopportune penalty on what would have been a first down for San Francisco.
Holding number 68, offense, still 3rd down.
John Ayers, the left guard. I think he was probably holding Glenn Collins, number 76, who's sort of the designated pass rusher for the Bengals.
Well, this pushes him back to the 22, Gene, and it's 3rd and roughly 13 from there.
Well, Bobby Kemp, number 26, has 2 interceptions on the day, and he's the man that's stifled some 49er drives.
Here's an end zone view where there was one. Montana completes it, but short of a first down to Wendell Tyler. James Griffin on the coverage. And Ray Wersching is coming on to attempt a field goal as we wind down towards 10 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. So with 4th and 7, Wersching will attempt one. He hit on one from the 29-yard line earlier in the half, and now this will be a 35-yard attempt. Montana holds. And he's got another one, and the 49ers are now within 4.
Ray kicked that one with room to spare. And they oftentimes talk about how Ray never looks at the goal line. But Ray said, I don't need to look because I finally figured out that those hash marks are right on the goal post. So I don't need to look at it until I kick it.
So Wersching now with an even 80 points on the year. 2 field goals, extra point, and now it's 17-13. Bengals hanging on. They've been shut out here in the second half. We have a full 9 minutes, 46 seconds remaining in regulation. Miami, that 4-point lead over the Jets as Sam White's in the background tries to figure out a play here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think that
you know, when you talk about the strategy of the situation right now, I would imagine the thing that's on Sam's mind at this point is, how can I get that ball down there and at least get a field goal? That's really what they want to do. They need to get some points on the board, because with the 49er offense, I mean, they can strike so quickly. But if they can get 3 points and they're up 20-13, now they keep the heat on the 49ers. The 49ers need a touchdown just to tie.
Brooks. Hit hard across the 20. A little bit of activity going on. Milton McCole and Brooks going at it at the 21. So Cincinnati now with 9 minutes 36 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. They will start at the 21.
Well, they have a lot of green between them and the end zone.
Look, James Brooks is lined up as a wide receiver again. Over on the near side with Chris Collinsworth. He just threw it away as the chase was on. Second down and 10. Lawrence Pillars on the pressure. So Cincinnati with the big second quarter. Nothing since. We have not had a touchdown in the second half. Just those 2 Ray Wersching field goals. Cincinnati by 4. Second and 10 from their 21. Hear the crowd.
49ers continuing to change their personnel. First bringing Gary Johnson in and decided they don't want him in. Bring him back out. Put another linebacker in.
James Brooks. Boy, he got away from trouble. A late flag on the play. And Brooks was fortunate to get away from traffic and pick up about 3 before Jim Fonhorst made the tackle.
I get the feeling that the 49er defense has turned up the heat.
Illegal use of hands against Cincinnati.
You know, that intensity that we talked about earlier, I think the 49ers sense that here with 9:21 remaining, they need to turn the heat up a bit, get the football back for their offense.
Illegal use of hands, number 82, offense, still second down.
Rodney Holman, and this sets them back to the 11. Cincinnati just playing it safe here, Gene, just hanging on. They don't have the explosiveness they did in that first half.
Well, I think the reason for that is the fact that the 49er defense is playing a lot better football than they did earlier.
This will be a 2nd and 20 from the 11. Big Hands Johnson, number 97, comes into your picture now.
Yeah, Dwayne Board and Tuiasa Soko, Michael Carter, Stuckey, they seem to rise to the occasion.
Complete to ML Harris, but far from enough. To the 17, and this will set up 3rd and 14. Keena Turner covering.
Now the 49ers bringing in 4 people. Michael Carter included. He's going to be the man at the nose tackle, a rookie.
Looks like they'll go with 1 linebacker here. This is 3rd and 13 from the 18. They need the 31.
I would say Collinsworth or the tight end. That's who they'll be looking for.
Throws us an incomplete pass. There was Dwight Hicks ball hawking. Anderson under pressure.
I said the 49ers rise to the occasion on defense. They do it on this play. Number 54, Ron Ferrari on one side. Carlton Williamson. He's the man that makes it happen. Number 27. And
Dwight Hicks nearly had 6. Look out for a block here. They'll send 10 guys coming. McAnally back at his 5. Creeps closer to his goal line.
No, the thing you don't want to risk here is running into the kicker, so I would stay away.
And they did stay away. Line drive to McLemore at the 43. McLemore across midfield.
couple of more to the 40. Charles Alexander finally making a stop. So, Candlestick alive, 8:21 remaining. Cincinnati's lead is just 4, but San Francisco will have the ball at the Bengal 40 when we return after this commercial message.
In the NFC, averaging 13.9. He's small, but he really runs tough. It's amazing how he just continues to stay up after getting hit by these big guys. Good job of running.
Alexander finally runs him down. First down for San Francisco at the 40. Freddie Solomon comes in motion. Dwight Clark. First down. Dragged down from behind at the 23. The 49ers are on the move. Ray Griffin making the tackle. A 17-yard pickup for the big guy, Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark made Ray Horton fall down a lot, and he's also doing the same thing with a lot of other people around. That time it was Ray Griffin that slips down. Good job of running after the catch for Dwight. You know, it's interesting. Dwight Clark is averaging coming into this game 19.1 yards per catch, and that's really high for him, getting a lot more longer balls.
Craig on first down and picks up 1, perhaps 2. Jeff Shue on the near side. We have 7 minutes, 30 seconds remaining and counting. Ball's being spotted at the 21, which will set up 2nd and 8.
And the Bengals bring in a host of players.
Looks like they're going to go with a 4-man front. An extra defensive back. 2nd and 8 at the 21. Craig, the safety valve. And near a first down at the 13. Eddie Edwards finally caught up with him.
Lenny, you really have to give a lot of credit to this Bengal defense. They have played a good football game, but they may not be able to dodge the bullet on this play. The 49ers really want to get into the end zone here. Joe dumps this one off. This really was a dump off to Craig, as he's done so many times. When he catches that football in that little short pass, he finds the daylight.
Craig is the leading receiver on the team. Our first measurement of the day. First down. Yes, sir. At the 13. White's talking with Collinsworth and Anderson. Collinsworth was sprung free for a 50-yard reception in the first half, but nothing here in the second half. Walsh seeing his offense move. He hopes for a lead score here. 6:37 remaining now.
Earl Cooper was the man before, but they're going to run it.
Craig inside the 10 and more. Hitting is ferocious in there. Ron Simpkins making the stop. Pick up a 5. 2nd and 5 now at the 8. And Cincinnati with that fire drill defense again. You see all those white shirts coming on the field from the right side. There's our score. Cincinnati by 4. 6 minutes even remaining, 4th quarter. We will watch this play from the end zone on 2nd and 5.
Harmon, he wanted to pass.
He had the notion and fights back for, well, perhaps a gain of a yard, but he certainly was looking to throw. Glenn Collins making the tackle.
I think Harmon wanted to get the ball out to Earl Cooper. Watch, he's getting the ball ready, looking, no, not there. Earl couldn't shake loose from the Bengal defenders.
All right, play of the day coming up right here. 3rd and 4 at the 7. Here's where that Montana rolling out ability helps him so much. Inside of 6 minutes now. He was looking for Monroe, and James Griffin was covering, and this sets up a decision on 4th down, and Ray Wershing's coming on the field. The crowd is mixed in its reviews as San Francisco apparently will try to draw within 1 point.
Well, I certainly think that's the right decision.
5 minutes to go. Draw within 1. Now you can still win if you're the 49ers, assuming the Bengals don't score again with another field goal.
Ray Wersching looking for his 3rd field goal today. This will be from 25. And he's perfect again. And now San Francisco, 3 by 3, are now within 1. 3 field goals here in the second half has turned a 17-7 halftime score to 17-16 with 5:44 remaining.
Some big games coming up next week here on NBC. You know, one of the games that, for Cincinnati, they're going to get that rematch with Pittsburgh, Houston at Kansas City, Buffalo at New England, and Indianapolis at the Jets.
And Denver and San Diego. Denver in a struggle today with New England. We have 5 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in this one. Cincinnati 17, San Francisco 16. And it's been a surprising game virtually from beginning to end, with Joe Montana career-high 4 interceptions in one game. But the San Francisco defense has shut out Cincinnati here in the second half. 3 Ray Wersching field goals from this man. That's been the story. James Brooks at the 1. Brooks gets up to the 23, and that's where Cincinnati will start with 5:35 remaining.
Well, the pressure is really on the Bengal offense. They have a couple of things they really need to accomplish here with 5:35 to go. First thing they need to do is get out of their own part of the field, because if they have to turn the ball over to the 49ers without scoring themselves, they want the 49ers to have to go a long way. So this really is a critical situation.
The Rams there hoping to tighten up this NFC West a bit. Brooks reversed his field twice and wound up going nowhere. Dwight Hicks covering. Clock continues to run. 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And now an official timeout while they untangle. Called a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the 22.
And I think the big difference here in the second half has been the play of the 49er defensive line. Their defensive front 3 with Dwayne Board, whoever is alternating at the nose tackle, whether it's Pelcher, Tuiasosopo, or Michael Carter, and Stuckey and Pillars. I think that's been the big difference. They haven't been blown off the line of scrimmage here in the second half.
Kinnebrew, almost a fake handoff, and he gave it to him the second time, and he got up to the 25. This will be 3rd down coming up, but first, let's go to NFL 84 in New York.
All right, Lynn, they are in the 4th quarter now at Giant Stadium, and the Jets have gone back out on top of Miami. Freeman McNeil, who has 128 yards on the day, goes in from the 6. So it is 17-14 Jets with 9 minutes and 31 seconds left.
Thank you, Bill. A good one going there as well. And time permitting, at the end of this game, we will be showing you the conclusion of the Miami Jet game. This is an important 3rd and 8 for Cincinnati at their 25. They are just 6 of 13 on 3rd down conversions. Incomplete, intended for Mike Martin as he threw behind him. Carlton Williamson covering. 49ers will get the ball back. And Ronnie Lott in on the play as well.
Lenny, that Cincinnati offense that played so well in the first half, 49er defense has really taken the play from them here in the second half. As you mentioned, that was really a key down. Mike Martin missing that ball. We don't know from up here whether he came a little too much to the inside on that pattern or was Kenny really off. But nonetheless, they missed it and they have to punt it away. The 49ers are going to end up with good field position. Dana McLemore back to receive.
Standing at his own 32. 4 minutes remaining. McAnally has not had a good day punting today. McLemore on the bounce at the 33. This time they contain him a bit. He does come out to the 41, and that's where the 49ers will set up shop. A 43-yard punt, a 9-yard return before Don Kern made the tackle.
But McAnally coming into this game was averaging 43.8 per kick. And look at this reaction. You can tell. He says, wait, hey, that's not my typical punt.
Really not. 3 minutes and 52 seconds left, Gene. 17-16 Cincinnati. Complete to Clark. Clark may break it.
Tackles in the last 3 or 4 games like a running back. He has Ray Griffin, I think it's Ray Griffin, number 44, on a little move to the outside. Watch, breaks the tackle. The White's done this 2 or 3 times this season for big gains. Nice play. Well, the 49ers in the catbird seat now on about the 19-yard line.
A 39-yard pass play. Joe Montana doing it again to Dwight Clark. Craig, nothing on first down. And Frank going at it with Reggie Williams pushing on the far side. Bobby Kemp making the stop in the middle.
And Joe's limping a little bit, maybe a tender ankle or so. You know, this situation where you're down here, of course, we have 3 minutes to go. It's a little early, but, you know, I recall the Raider game. When they had the opportunity to kick the field goal, they decided to run a few more, then they fumbled. So I can imagine that same thought is going through some of these 49ers players' mind right now. Don't lose the football.
3 minutes left, and again they stop Craig at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Reggie Williams with a solid tackle, and maybe even lost the yard on the play.
That field goal will put them ahead, and I just have to believe that they're thinking about that Raider game when they decided to run one more time and fumbled and lost it. So I just don't think the 49ers really want to take a chance here on turning the ball over. But they're very confident when they throw it, so let's see what happens.
3rd and 10. Wide open. Solomon dragged down at the 5 by Griffin. Sam Weiss is seeing his perfect first half go up in smoke at the moment. And you're right, Joe Montana's walking awfully slowly over here as we've reached the 2-minute warning. But let's take a look at the play to Freddie Solomon.
He got the one-on-one matchup that he wanted, and Freddie Solomon just beat Ray Griffin like a drum. Both Dwight Clark and Freddie were one-on-one. He found the man that was open.
The 2-minute warning. So now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1981, quarterback Richard Todd, his injured ribs ache. His Jets trail the Dolphins with time for one more drive. He hits Jerome Barkham. He nails Lamb Jones. Todd is hot and Don Shula knows it. Less than 20 seconds left. Bingo, the game winner to Barkham. Todd completes passes to 7 different receivers, and the Jets win 16-15.
Right now, a field goal or more with a 1st and goal from the 5, and on the strength of those 9 second-half points to none for Cincinnati, San Francisco's knocking on the door. 1st and goal.
Well, it certainly makes the decision to go for the field goal earlier a good one, because now they really have Cincinnati up against the wall.
Craig. Oh, to the 4. Bobby Kemp on the coverage. Boy, when Ray Horton went out the cornerback and they brought in Ray Griffin, Montana went to work on Archie's little brother. The word on Horton is they're not quite sure about the injury, but they're taking him in for x-rays.
Timeout for the Bengals. Both the 49ers and
Cincinnati have 2 timeouts remaining.
There's the story with that. When we come back, it'll be 2nd down and 4 from the goal. But first, let's go to New York City now.
All right, at Giants Stadium, Miami has come right back against the Jets from Dan Marino. 47 yards to Mark Clayton. Marino nears 400 yards today. There was a flag on the play, but it was against the Jets, so it stands at 21-17. The Dolphins with about 7.5 minutes left.
Well, is Miami something? Time permitting, you'll see the end of that game. For all the 49er fans who think the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl, if they do, they just may be seeing that Dolphin team down the road in Palo Alto, where Super Bowl 19 will be played at the end of the road. Boy, that Dolphin team is something. Coming right back. But Cincinnati here, hanging on to a 1-point lead. 1:45 left in the 4th quarter, and this will be 2nd and goal from the 4 for San Francisco.
Again, you know, this situation.
Look at this one.
Still some. Oh, tied up. New England with Denver. You know, I mean, this game's not over with here yet. 1:45 to go. I think the decision that Bill Walsh has to make here is, does he continue to run the ball and be conservative, let the time run down and kick the field goal, or do you just take a shot and go for 6 points?
Solomon in motion.
They're going for it all.
Looking into the end zone. Freddie. Touchdown! White shoes, long fingernails, and 6 more points for Freddie Solomon. The 49ers lead at 22-17 with 1:39 remaining.
And an acrobatic Joe Montana. Look at this. Rolling back out, throwing the ball, jumping up. And a nice catch from Freddie Solomon. Goes up high over Robert Jackson for 6 points. You know, I think most teams would have played it safe, would have been very conservative. But the 49ers have so much confidence in their ability to throw and catch the football that for them, that's the normal thing to do. Ray Werging gets the extra point. 49ers out in front,
23-17. It was 17-7 at halftime. But San Francisco has shut out Cincinnati and scored 16 points on their own. Here's another look.
But again, watch how Joe throws this ball. He throws it jumping up in the air and falling backwards. It's a tremendous effort just to get rid of the football like that. And a great catch from Freddie Solomon.
With Robert Jackson right there. And Freddie with his 4th touchdown of the year.
And as you mentioned earlier, the 49ers come at you so many different ways. You know, you just look at them. Dwight Clark, Freddie Solomon, Wendell Tyler.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers on Montana. 27 for 42. Another 300-yard passing day. 2 touchdowns. He had the 4 interceptions, and they did not deter another, well, at least the San Francisco lead for now. Cincinnati will still have 1:39 left, trailing by 6. But they have gotten zip here in the 2nd half, and player appears to be in difficulty on the far side. Cincinnati Bengal started grabbing his head at the 17, and he's being attended to very quickly over there. We think it's Mike Martin who grabbed his head, perhaps a bit dizzy. Pause right now a moment for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Sports Cincinnati style. WLWT Channel 5.
Back at Candlestick Park, San Francisco. A 49ers 2nd half has propelled them to a 23-17 lead. We have 1:39 left. And San Francisco will be kicking off, but first they are tending to Mike Martin. He was standing on the far side. He took his helmet off and started reaching for his head. While we have a moment here, I'd like to thank our statistician, Kurt Cornell, and our spotters today, Don Miucci and Jim Walker. Nice job, fellas, here in San Francisco. Joe Montana.
Joe on the sideline. I'm sure he Feels an awful lot better after those 4 interceptions to get his team back in the league.
Really, son, a guy comes in throwing just 3 pickoffs all season long, and throws in 4 in 1 game, and still may be the winning quarterback. Interesting story how he's embroiled in a controversy with a shoe company. And the shoe company named the brand Montana, and Joe says you can't use my name, and the shoe company is claiming, no, Joe, it's the state of Montana. There's a lawsuit underway on that one. Well, look at those 2 touchdowns for Cincinnati in the second quarter, and then on the schneid in the second half. That San Francisco defense shut down Cincinnati cold, and San Francisco responded with 16 unanswered points.
Well, Lenny, there's a saying around the league, you entertain on offense and you win with defense. You know, the 49ers offense, the prolific offense here, everyone thinks about Montana, Clark, and Solomon. But you have to remember that they have one of the really outstanding defenses in the league, and in the second half, they just virtually shut down the Cincinnati offense.
Boy, they brought a stretcher out for Mike Martin, and already Ray Horton was carried off for Cincinnati. And gee, we hope this is nothing serious. His eyes were open, and perhaps with something involved with a head injury, they're just being extra sensitive. They're taking extra precautions. Chris Collinsworth on the near side, expressing his concern.
You and I did a game a few weeks ago back in Buffalo, the Denver and Buffalo, when one of the receivers from the Denver team, Clint Sampson, was injured, and they thought it was serious and held up play for about 15 minutes. And fortunately, he didn't sustain a serious injury. I think lost a tooth.
Now they're carrying Mike Martin off the field as you take a look at the scoring drive capped off by Montana to Freddie Solomon. As they carry Mike Martin off, and we'll try to get some information for those concerned watching back in the Midwest. Cincinnati returns home next week. You'll see the game in the Cincinnati area. It's a sellout at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. All right, 1:39 left. James Brooks is driven into the end zone, and he will not try to drive it out of the end zone. Cincinnati has to go 80 yards with 1:39 left. 3 points does them no good.
Well, if I were the 49er defensive players, I'd focus an awful lot of my attention on Chris Collinsworth. And then after Chris, I would look to M.L. Harris, who probably has the best average per catch of any tight end in the league, coming in with 18 yards average. Kenny Anderson's going to have to put the ball in the air. He's not going to make it on the ground.
First down from the 20. M.L. Harris, a fine completion, and nearly broke away from Keena Turner. Perhaps a game-saving tackle on the far side as the clock continues to run with 1:25 remaining.
Well, I mentioned earlier, M.L. Harris, according to Dwight Hicks, is the fastest tight end they've faced. That's a good example of his speed because Keena Turner can motor.
Out to the 38 on first down. 1:10 left. And Anderson is sacked.
Gary Big Hands Johnson, part of the San Diego connection. I think that's his second sack.
Timeout Cincinnati as Big Hands got his big hands on Kenny Anderson and sacked him. 68 seconds left now, Gene. He just wouldn't give up. Had him high, had him low, and wrestled him down. 6th sack for the San Francisco defense today.
You know, those players, again, I hate to be repetitive, but those players on defense oftentimes are overshadowed here by the fantastic 49er offense. But they have played good football. Turk Schoenert with a hat on the sideline, conferring with Anderson and head coach Sam Weich.
Anderson learned what the play is, will come on for a 2nd and 16 from the 32. And again, it bears repeating, 3 points does them no good with 68 seconds left. They need 6. The word on Mike Martin is a contusion on his forehead, and they're checking him out. Here we go, 2nd and 16. David Verser across midfield to the 48. 1 minute remaining as Cincinnati hustles up the field. Dwight Hicks covering on the play. No huddle at the 48. First down. Intercepted by Williamson. Lights out on Cincinnati. Williamson to midfield, and the 49ers with the game-clinching interception by Carlton Williamson.
Well, as Kenny Anderson walks off, there was definitely a misconnection between he and Collingsworth. Collingsworth goes outside, he throws the ball inside. As my pal John Brody would say, they definitely were not on the same page on that play.
Well, Sam White congratulating Brian Blados. He's proud of his team. They put San Francisco to the test. But the 49ers, a Super Bowl caliber team, about to go 9-1. Montana just sits on it. San Francisco next week at Cleveland, and then they will host Tampa Bay. So it looks like San Francisco will win a home game on NBC with 31 seconds remaining.
Carlton Williamson getting the deserved congratulations. A really underrated player. But there's so many stars on this team, boy. It's really hard to get recognized when you're not someone that has your hand on the football an awful lot.
When names came in the second half, such as Gary Johnson, big hand, such as Bill Ring and Derek Harmon on one play. When they have the names and the depth, that's so important that people tend to overlook. They tend to look at starters, but it's the backup guys like Lawrence Pillars. This team is so deep without a Russ Francis, with the tight ends Cooper and Frank. They just keep doing it with that terrific offensive line, the sacks from the defense. This team may be playing a hometown Super Bowl at Stanford this year, as Bill Walsh, who was nearly in meditation before the game in the locker room, is a lot happier now at midfield with the game in the bag with 30 seconds and counting.
Well, I think Bill had reason to be concerned when this game started, because as you clearly saw, the 49ers, particularly on offense, were a little off. Uncharacteristic of Joe, he threw 4 interceptions. But in the second half, they got their act together and came back out strong. You could see Sam talking to some of the players that he coached when he was here with the 49ers, saying hello to Dwight Clark, Bill Ring. But a good job by the Bengals, particularly in the first half.
49ers go to 9-1. Bengals putting on a fine performance, but slipping to 3-7. And our final numbers, the 49ers 23, the Bengals 17. Remember that halftime score as the two friends get together at midfield, Walsh and White. And Sam does have a smile on his face. Thank you, Bill. With 17-7 at halftime, all San Francisco in the second half, despite 4 interceptions by that man, who was coached by that man, White in Montana. Despite the pickoffs, the 49ers do it and defeat the Bengals this afternoon here at home, 23-17 in a hard-fought football game. That's the score in the Meadowlands. Miami leading at 24-17. So Gene Washington, a pleasure working with you again today. For Gene Washington, I'm Len Berman. Our final score here at 23-17, but we are now joining you to Miami and the Jets network, as Miami has a 7-point lead over the Jets. Let's go to the Meadowlands and join our colleagues Charlie Jones and Bob Greasy with Miami maintaining a 7-point lead. So long, everybody.